London, the city where many great love stories have begun. Romeo and Juliet, Charles and Diana, and Bridget Jones. In her diary, Bridget Jones talks openly of her resolve to find Mr. Right so she can stop fantasizing about her boss. She's 27 years old. She's blonde. She considers herself to be a little on the plump side, and she's always ending up in embarrassing situations. But Bridget keeps calm and carries on searching for a kind and handsome boyfriend in the heart of London town. London is a city of theatre and musicals, where partying goes on into the small hours. It is the powerful capital of Britain and home to a historic royal family. It is a buzzing, creative, cosmopolitan metropolis, a creative hub of art and music, and home to millions of singletons. Could London be the perfect setting for a romantic comedy? Following in the footsteps of Bridget Jones, several Londoners who are also searching for love show us round their city.
Nobody knows me, and nobody cares for me. I'm just a dust blown in the wind.
My name's Philippa Sitters. I'm 28 years old, and I live in central London. I work in publishing, and that's it. Before I lived in London, I hated London. I thought it was a really big, scary abyss of a place. I was frightened of the big city, you know, a country girl. So it took me a few years to get over that. And then when I realised that actually it's pretty nice around here, so much happening, I came, finally. London is the place to be.
Every day, Philippa arrives at Piccadilly Circus, the beating heart of the capital. Surrounded by the huge illuminated signs, which have been a signature part of the area for many years.
It's a bit touristy, so you do feel like you're in the middle of something quite special. The architecture is incredible. Just getting off the tube and walking through all of these beautiful buildings, the history is just, it's oozing from every corner. It's amazing. And I just think this is insane. How am I working here? How am I living here?
Philippa works in the Seven Dials area, not far from Piccadilly Circus. She works as a PA for one of London's most successful literary agents.
Good morning, G.E.I.E. She may be. I'll just put you through, just a second.
This discreet agency represents some of the world's top writers. Every manuscript Philippa receives and passes on to her boss constitutes an author's dream. David thinks she has something of Bridget Jones about her.
Well, I don't know. I think you're in publishing.
I am.
You're a single woman.
I am.
You're more good-looking and more graceful than her. So that's nice. So that's good. So, you know, I don't know. I don't think you ever had an affair, to my knowledge, with a publishing editor. But then you should keep that to yourself, I think. Perhaps they know more about this than I do.
No, I steer clear of a few grants of the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I think he'd be... Wouldn't he be... I don't know.
He's a womanizer. He's dreadful.
Well, yeah, but sometimes womanizers can be the...
No.
What do I know? What do I know?
In the streets below the agency, Seven Dials is like a merry-go-round. It gets its name from the sundials on top of the column, but it would need to be sunnier for it to be possible to tell the time from them. In the 18th century, the neighbourhood was very seedy and one of London's most disreputable. Today, it is a mix of shops selling alternative medicine, cafe terraces and pretty boutiques. Neal's Yard is the ideal hideaway for a lover's tryst, should you be lucky enough to secure one.
I've been in London for 5 years, and I'd say I've been single for 95% of that time. There are 12 million or so people living in this city, and to actually meet one that you like, it's quite hard. It's impossible to live in London and to just hope that someone or something's going to come your way. So you have to try a bit hard. You have to put yourself out there, go and meet people, say yes all the time to going out with your friends and meeting strangers. But I'm optimistic. You can't give up.
Founded in 1797, Hatchard's is the oldest bookshop in the United Kingdom and an official supplier to the Queen. In this prestigious venue, Britain's greatest intellectuals came to promote their works and defend their ideas for a better society. In the 19th century, Lord Byron and Oscar Wilde, amongst other notable writers, would come here to discuss poetry and politics. Tonight, Philippa is here with her friends for the launch of a memoir called Becoming, written by a young female blogger.
Laura Jane Williams has written a wonderful blog that's engaged so many women, and wonderfully, thankfully, the publishing industry has picked it up and gone with it and turned it into an amazing, inspiring book.
I'd met Big Dick in a club. It was a friend's birthday, and I'd found myself excited about a night out. I'd been running a lot and felt fit, toned with that healthy glow, regular sweaty exercise. I'd wanted it like that, though. I'd wanted him to pin me down, to be rough. I'd wanted him to use me, use my body. Working, Valentino. My hands up against my head and gyrated along the front of me. His dick was out, the largest, unruliest exhaust pipe of a thing I'd ever encountered. My skirt hitched up around my waist, and he would have fucked me right there and then, had I not said breathlessly and just convincingly enough, get me inside the house. It was like he was mad I'd made him wait. By the time my door was open, his hands were on my neck and in my jaw.
Despite the audacity of these young women, these suffragettes of female desire, real-life romantic encounters are hard to come by. Piccadilly Circus is in the heart of Theatreland. People have thronged here for centuries to watch plays which capture their imaginations, challenge and provoke. In London, it seems easier to dream of love affairs than to experience them. Bridget Jones was looking for Mr. Right. The history of London starts on the banks of the Thames over 2,000 years ago. Today, the city spreads over more than 1,500 square kilometres on either side of the river, the capital's main artery. The waterway narrows under Tower Bridge, where ships arrived from the sea, bringing riches from around the world. In the 19th century, under the reign of Queen Victoria, the Royal Navy was the colonial instrument par excellence, commanding respect for the Empire and the Union Jack. Up until 1945, Great Britain was the greatest sea power in the world. In memory of its heyday, the light cruiser HMS Belfast is moored in the heart of the city, near to where Bridget was dreaming of Mr. Right. The sea, generations of sailors and the trade that they brought made London such a powerful city.
My name's Ed Livitt. I'm 26 years old. I work on the River Thames. I'm a sixth-generation waterman. We've been working on the river now over 100 years, well over 100 years. I live in southeast London, which is where Greenwich is, and so it matters to me. It's one of my favourite areas on the River Thames because it's close to home, but also, so my mum and dad met thanks to the River Thames over 30 years ago now. We're at Blackwall Point. Permission for the barrier, please, outward bound.
Charlie Span.
Charlie Span, thank you. This is the Thames Barrier, which is a flood defence scheme that was built in 1984. And my granddad and my dad worked on the barrier at the time when it was being built, so they spent a lot of time in their lives building the barrier. I think maybe about 10 years building the barrier. It's London's defence. It stops London from flooding. The way it works is that there's barriers underneath the water that come out and close. If the tide is predicted to be too high or there's been a lot of rain, then they will shut the barrier and they'll keep it closed for a whole tide or a few hours of that tide to ensure that London, and in particular areas like Westminster and upriver like Putney, don't flood so severely that there's lots of damage caused. It's really, really crucial and something that protects us all.
In this city, now protected from the onslaughts of the sea, modern-day architects are competing to tower over London. In the shadow of the cheese grater is the 180-metre-high Gherkin with its 41 floors, a pleasingly shaped building designed by Norman Foster. The 160-metre-high walkie-talkie, with its 34 floors, is covered with sunscreens to reflect the sun's rays as they hit its concave surface. Dozens of cranes are building new towers, but for now, the tallest is this one, designed by Renzo Piano. Over 300 metres high, with 95 floors and 11 lifts, the Shard seems to reach up to seventh heaven. Ed is returning with his boat to the family's mooring at the foot of Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is a bridge, but also two towers. It was built at the end of the 19th century in a neo-Gothic style in keeping with the neighbouring Tower of London. It is a combined bascule and suspension bridge, and its design is quite a feat of engineering.
Mike, I'm receiving. Yeah, OK, Dave, it's a good idea, will do. So let you all know that the 12:25 bridge lift has been cancelled. The vessel that was coming through at 12:25 will now follow the flotilla. Tower Bridge was built back in 1894. London was getting very busy. Lots of commuters getting from one side of the river to the other, and they had to go all the way to London Bridge and all the way back, and it took, you know, hours to get round.
Like Bridget Jones, thousands of Londoners cross this bridge every morning. It's a good time for inner contemplation, like deciding to resist or give in to advances from your boss, for example.
We like to think the bridge doesn't break down that often. Touch wood, it doesn't. But there have been occasions when, we've had electrical supply problems, but we're always able to deal with that and get it working again quite quickly.
Straight onto Italy.
Ed and his crew tie the Silver Wind to HMS Belfast in the Port of London. Even in the city centre, sailors are all about the sea and boats. Surely, to be a sailor's wife, you'd need to get out on the water.
Izzy, my girlfriend, doesn't like boats. She doesn't like the movement of the water. She gets very sick. We've just bought a house together, we just bought a flat. But Izzy's scared of water, she's scared of marriage, so she don't think we'll be getting married.
Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Today could be your lucky day. Everything will go your way.
My name is Hannah, and I'm really passionate about food. That means growing it and preparing it and eating it. I just want to do everything. I just love eating. Yeah.
Our tour of Lovers London continues on the south bank of the River Thames at Borough Market. Maybe you could try that yoga thing. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. In Bridget Jones's diary, the heroine lives above the Globe pub. Today, the pretty Victorian house is caught between two railway bridges which straddle the covered market. Bridget passes through Borough Market on her way home or to do her shopping. Hannah Schlotter's ancestors emigrated from Germany in 1870. Good morning, sunshine. Her family's relationship with Borough Market goes back a long way.
My parents and my grandfather were farmers, and they used to bring the vegetables up farm in Essex to sell here. So when I was younger, I would come here with my parents to visit, and they would tell me about how they would bring the vegetables up early in the morning, and my dad would go to the Market Porter pub afterwards and have a pint, and it was kind of learning about their jobs and seeing all these different types of food that I'd never tried before. It was a very exciting place. A lot of market sellers here have a real connection to the farms and the producers that the food comes from. So it's much more artisan, people know about the product that they're selling. You can get specialty things here that you can't find in a supermarket. It's a really lovely way to buy food. Can I please get a cup of your delicious milk?
Okay.
Thank you very much. How are the cows?
They're okay,
Yeah. Good, good.
Enjoying life.
Yeah.
What are you doing up here then?
Just coming around. This is one of our most famous, biggest markets in London, and we have some other European stalls, so a Spanish food producer that I love with the best jamón. Hi!
Hello,
How are you?
It's
My
very nice to
favourite
see
ham
you.
seller. It's been ages.
You have to ask me in Spanish if you want to get some ham.
Vale, quiero un trocito de jamón, por favor.
There you
Gracias,
go.
amigo. Oh.
Ham without fat is like a kiss without squeeze.
Yeah, I always want to squeeze
Isn't
with my
it?
kiss.
Well,
Thank
no
you.
worries.
That's an amazing amount of fat. Okay, it's like the temple of the jamón.
The temple, indeed.
Okay, it's lovely seeing you. Ciao. Or adios. Hasta luego.
Borough market is the cosmopolitan soul of London. Local produce is on sale here alongside regional specialities from around the world. Great chefs or simple food lovers come here to get inspired and taste the good things in life.
It's a great place to take a date, actually, because you've got something to talk about, like the nice food, and maybe you're going to have a few drinks, and hopefully things will go well. I'm still single, so it didn't work out brilliantly, but I had a nice time on those dates, but I'm still searching, so maybe I'll still be coming to Borough Market for dinners and wine events and other things, yeah.
Up he goes. And we are going to mix our dry ingredients together in a round circular movement. Just put it on the table.
I love making the dough, doing things with my hands I really enjoy. But I've never really made a good loaf of bread, so I really want to try and learn from other people here to do that.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is to cut my dough roughly in the middle. Voila, that's it. Tossing in the flour, and then gently you deposit on the tray.
Okay.
Carefully, lovingly. So we've got two nice straight ciabatta, very bubbly. Okay. You're going to place that ciabatta about, yes, second shelf up. Okay. When you bake bread, you make bread, you need to be really into your bread, loving good bread. Yeah. And just learn how simple those gestures are, how you put together a dough from 4 basic ingredients. And I think you need to love the magic. I think love could be the 5th ingredient.
Yeah? Okay.
Definitely.
Right. We're bringing the love to the
Yeah,
bread.
well, I think we did.
Well, I love doing it, so
Yeah, okay, all right.
It's a wonderful place to be by yourself and to people watch and to take a coffee and watch the world go by and feel a bit better about life.
Well, in Bridget Jones' diary, as part of the film, it's snowing and it's shot around here. It wasn't really snowing. They just put down all the false snow. But it looks very pretty in the film. It looks like almost Victorian London. It's amazing what you can do with cinematography.
Alan Fresco has seen hundreds of love affairs begin in the back of his taxi, but the most beautiful of all is his love affair with London.
This year, I will have been driving a taxi for 50 years. Seems like only yesterday.
Alan loves the buzz of this city, which is constantly on the move.
Taxis are the lifeblood of London. You know, we run through the capillaries, we make sure that everything's flowing properly, we carry all the energy of London around us. We're now coming into the city of London proper. It's where all the financial institutions are. This is where all the business of London was conducted, even in Roman times. We're entering what was the old Roman Forum. If you superimposed a map of Roman London over what is London now, the street layout, you'd find that the Forum covered quite a piece of this area. Again, we've got a beautiful view of St Christopher Wren, St Paul's Cathedral. This is where Prince Charles and Lady Di were married. Again, we're very lucky to have it. It survived the Blitz. And I was a little boy growing up, a lot of this area was debris, simply debris. Incendiary bombs fell all around here. Most of this area was devastated. But maybe with the will of God, the cathedral was spared. A bomb actually fell through the roof of the building, but didn't explode. This is Waterloo Bridge, and this is one of the finest sights of any capital city on the planet. I defy you to find any capital city that looks better than this.
Alan would like to stop and admire Westminster, Big Ben and the Savoy, but the city is still buzzing, so he must be on his way. The neighbourhood he grew up in, Shoreditch, has been transformed.
This is Shoreditch High Street. On the right is Bethnal Green. And the area where this big block is here and the area around it used to be a terrible, terrible slum. It was called the Jago, and even the police were frightened to come in here. And it wasn't until the early 1900s that the London County Council then demolished all the old buildings and built decent blocks of flats. When I went to school around here, it was just lots of little old buildings, very shabby. And now it's been really, really gentrified. Really brightened up, smartened up. Amazing. On our boutique restaurants, hotels, clubs, bars. Absolutely complete change.
Shoreditch is now a fashionable place. It's where the young trendies come out to party. This is where Bridget Jones would go out today. London never sleeps. The night only ends when you've reached your limit, or when you vow, as Bridget did, that no alcohol will ever pass your lips again. Hyde Park is the perfect place to recuperate after a night out on the town. In the Serpentine Lake, swimmers enjoy going back to nature. As early as 1665, during the Great Plague, Londoners sought refuge in this green lung from the sickness and fever raging through the city. Open to everyone for sporting activities and various other pleasures, this vast garden covering 350 hectares in the centre of London is a royal park. Bridget Jones's suitors challenged one another to a duel in the Italian fountains. Henry VIII acquired the land in the 16th century to use as a hunting ground. Horses still gallop here today along Rotten Row, from the French for King's Road, Route du Roi, which goes from Kensington Palace to St James's Palace. First thing in the morning, the park is turned into a training ground for the horses of the British Mounted Guard. Most are Irish draft horses. They are strong and powerful chargers.
that little bit of inside flexion and bend through the corner.
The riding instructor trains them and picks out the best.
Encourage them to rely on your outside leg and hand. Pick a point. Turn.
The black horses will mount the guard. The white ones will carry the buglers.
Once again, that's slightly tight to turn. Don't allow...
The physical criteria are strict. Horses must be over 1.6 metres to the withers and have an even coat.
Balance point.
The horses must have perfect poise and support the weight of a man in full ceremonial uniform. They must not get distracted by the sounds of the city. Only then can they join the Royal Guard. At the official entrance to Buckingham Palace, just like on the battlefield, they must know when to hold the pose. Keep calm and carry on was a motivational slogan produced by the British government during World War II. The changing of the guard will most definitely carry on, since after a House of Windsor reign lasting nearly 100 years, many Brits continue to vow their undying allegiance to the Queen and the royal family. West of Kensington Gardens in Notting Hill, homage is also being paid to royalty, in their own way.
Well, Notting Hill's where I grew up, but it was very different when I grew up here. Now it's really nice and there's loads of tourists everywhere. For me, when I was a kid, it's kind of walking around on my dad's shoulders in the market. It wasn't a very nice place. Well, now it's become the chic place to live, right? Notting Hill is really cool. They brought the film out, Notting Hill, and suddenly Notting Hill was the place to live. Do you have any idea how expensive it is to live here? I don't know anyone my age who lives on his own. It's too expensive. I live with my friend and, you know, everyone's living in house shares. To live on your own costs so much money.
Living in Notting Hill is something many Londoners can only dream of. A residence here costs an average of over £1 million. The neighbourhood is in the district of Kensington and Chelsea, the richest in the capital. London tops the list of cities that are home to the most billionaires, ahead of New York and San Francisco. An internet dating app recently named bachelors from Notting Hill as the most eligible in the city.
Finding love in London, it's hard. So yeah, online, Tinder, stuff like that. First thing you have to do is check that they look like their pictures. Because, let me tell you, people use some strange pictures online, but they're really out of date as well. You're in London now. London, baby. Carlton home. Sorry?
Cafes, to be fair. So you think you'd open a... So it's the double... No, he's all what? Great knowledge about you. No, good knowledge. If people say something like yeah, they
is a rich neighbourhood, but it is still quite alternative. Further west, in the countryside, 30 minutes outside London along the Thames, the English upper classes are distinctly conservative. James is a reporter, and he is off to cover a sporting event, a prestigious rowing competition, the Henley Royal Regatta.
We're in Henley-on-Thames in Oxfordshire, home to the Henley Regatta, undoubtedly the most famous regatta in the world. Teams come from all over the world to compete here. Have you been to Henley before?
No.
Do you love it?
Yeah.
What is it about it that you like?
Prosecco.
It's a certain kind of British, isn't it? It's like it's a bit kind of quite posh.
Quintessential.
Are you supporting a particular team?
Yes, Oxford. Just for her.
Are you?
Just for her.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, well, enjoy yourselves.
Thank you.
Have fun.
And you.
See you guys. Hi guys, how's it going? Can I sit here? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Where are you all from?
Switzerland.
And have you finished your competition or?
Many days ago.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
sadly.
You got knocked out.
Yeah, on the first round on Thursday. But the Americans, they won today. So we got knocked out by the winner.
Oh, well, that's good.
So we're probably
yeah.
second.
Well, then that's good logic. I like that logic.
But next year, we will come back stronger.
Good. I like to hear it.
We are the Swiss champions.
Oh, really?
In the quad, yeah.
This, I have to tell you, is one of the loudest blazers here. Everyone can see you.
To be able to have one, you have to be at least 5 times Swiss champions. Otherwise, you do not deserve the blazer. 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times.
More than that.
Ah.
For some, these trophies represent a ticket into English high society. Others simply take pride in winning this prestigious competition. But for James, the real victory would be getting his article finished as quickly as possible and maybe meeting a soulmate.
I think finding a partner is the most important thing anyone can do. But everyone else is so busy doing everything else that they forget, I think.
On the other side of the city in the northeast, there are more supporters of Arsenal Football Club than rowing enthusiasts. Street art thrives in this area between Islington and Hackney. Despite the rain, it has a certain insolence about it. Meeting places are cropping up all over this industrial part of London. On the wasteland beside a disused railway line, Dalston Eastern Curve even has a communal vegetable patch. Ish and Julian like the cultural diversity of the neighbourhoods in East London.
I think it used to be the most deprived borough in the whole of the UK many years ago. Parts of it are still considered quite deprived.
It's got one of the biggest ranges of incomes in any borough. Well, I think probably anywhere in the UK.
Billionaires to obviously a lot of poverty as well.
Doesn't feel like you're in a bubble too much.
me, the main thing was the massive diversity, how diverse London is compared to other cities, but the types of people you meet, it opens up your world even more. So it's been great for me. So I loved it from the minute I moved here.
Ish and Julian chose to live in Islington after they got married.
When I met him, I knew he liked cycling, but as I got to know him, he was really passionate about it. And I thought, God, I'm going to have to get into it if I want to be with him. I hadn't ridden a bike since I was 9 years old. So I thought a tandem would be a good compromise. It's really good fun.
Julian and Ish symbolise social diversity in a city whose mayor, Sadiq Khan, is the son of a Pakistani bus driver. But Bridget was interested in one thing only. Was it love at first sight?
Yeah.
There was a real spark, I think. And you could tell we were both keen to see where it led to.
Bridget Jones reflects the British spirit of keeping calm and carrying on, even in the most embarrassing situations. So it's hardly surprising that the story of the young singleton's quest for love in London was so successful. Will it stand the test of time?